Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, it truly does not matter who the host is. Today is Friday, November the 12th of 2021, day 316. Yes, 316 of the year, and only 49 days left to go. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from, well, we'll call them the Safety FM studios inside of the Fisherman Village, and we'll leave it at that for this particular point. Anyways, we're broadcasting across the multiverse of Safety FM and also hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
Radio Big.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big, doing the stuff that they do. You know, I have to tell you, I've gotten to the point as of late that I just love what we get to do in all kinds of different formats, in all kinds of different things that we get to do, hang out and all that kind of fun stuff. You know, I guess it took me days to figure out that the closer I get the microphone to my mouth, the better it is overall. So I guess that's something that we're learning here together on this lovely Friday, right away, as we are talking, moving, and grooving, and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, so let's get it moving and grooving and talking and doing all the things. So it is Friday, so you already know that this is going to be our freeform version of the show. It's going to be the version where you get to call in, do whatever you want, talk about whichever you want, go into the chat box. We'll figure it out as it is in regards to getting this done together, you and I, and going through the whole thing. So all you have to do to call in, it is the simplest process on the planet, but it also sounds like the most difficult thing when you try to explain it. You go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com, and that will get you set up to get you into the lovely phone lines, to get you moving and grooving, and all that other kind of fun stuff. That will prop you in right directly into our system, and then we'll get you moving, going, and all that kind of fun stuff. So there you go. That's that right there on that side. So that's about as simple as it gets, as simple as butter. So let's just go from there. Anyways, let's get moving. Let's start talking about what is trending inside of the world of the news, because that's exactly what is going on right now. We'll take it from the very top right now. So new to Amazon Prime, if you're looking to what to do video on demand wise, as we are moving forward, Finding You. That's according to Amazon Prime and Mayor Pete. If you're looking for something else that is what is going on, here you go. New to Disney Plus would be Home Sweet Home Alone, Jungle Cruise, and then let's see if I can butcher this, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That seemed relatively quick on how that one ended up processing through, because that seemed like it didn't seem like it was that long ago that was on out at the theater. You know, a lot of people seem to love that one. Anyways, good morning, Rich. How are you? Hopefully everything's fantastic. Anyways, going into HBO Max, a new Cinderella story, Starstruck. Also, Boogie. I wonder if that has anything to do with like Boogie Nights, because you know that's a whole other thing that we could talk about for sure. So just something there to talk about. Anyways, new to Hulu will be Star Trek Into the Darkness, and then new to Netflix will be Red Notice, which that's the one with The Rock, The Rock or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and, you know, Wonder Woman herself. So there you go. Anyway, so let's get you moving and grooving into the world of the news. Get that started. Have the people from Feature Story tell you exactly what's going on, because those things are always important. as they are here to hang out with us and help us. So here we go right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Negotiators at COP26 are under growing pressure to agree a global climate deal on the final day of talks in Glasgow. A newly published draft agreement warns of the need for rapid, deep and sustained action to limit temperature rises. The climate summit is due to end on Friday, but that could be extended. Tommy Vickerstaff, who's a climate campaigner at the conference, says there's plenty of work to do.
There's still a lot of things missing, especially around finance for countries that have already been impacted by the climate crisis and will continue to be so. The action around fossil fuel extraction isn't as deep as it needs to be. But what we're hoping today is we don't just look at COP as the end of these discussions. And actually, this is 2 weeks out of the year, and there's another 50 weeks before the next UN climate talks happen. And we want to make sure that leaders and countries, there's actually a process by which they're properly held accountable for the nice speeches they've given this week.
Germany's recorded another daily spike in new COVID-19 infections. Hospitals say ICUs are filling up with unvaccinated patients. From Berlin, Trent Murray.
Over 48,000 new cases were recorded Friday, a 31% increase compared to the same day last week. It comes a day after the country set an all-time pandemic high of 50,000 new infections. With the resurgence showing little sign of slowing down, Acting Health Minister Jens Spahn will hold a press conference Friday to update how the government is responding to the new wave. It's expected additional restrictions could soon be introduced to try and slow the spread. In neighbouring Austria, the government is preparing to introduce stricter lockdown measures that target the unvaccinated.
Western members of the UN Security Council say Belarus is using migrants to destabilise the EU's eastern border. Belarus's main ally, Russia, rejected the claims made in a strongly worded statement. The biggest shopping event in the world, Singles Day, has broken records. China's e-commerce giant Alibaba says its sales reached almost $85 billion on Thursday. Richard Kimber reports from Hong Kong.
Singles Day is a huge marketing stunt in China based around the ones that make up the 11th day of the 11th month of the year. Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba launched it as a gimmick in 2009. Since then, it's become a retail revelation, involving tens of thousands of brands from around the world offering steep discounts and dwarfing the US Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. Analysts say this year's record will ease investor concerns over Alibaba's future. Shares have slumped almost a third this year after the company was hit with a near $3 billion antitrust fine. The sales surge is also a boost for the Chinese economy, which is growing at the slowest pace in a year amid rising inflation, energy woes, and a deepening property sector debt crisis.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the legacy of F.W. de Klerk, the last apartheid-era president of South Africa, who died this week at the age of 85. He's remembered here by Lord Robin Rennick, the former British ambassador to South Africa.
Without him, South Africa was heading for civil war. The situation was getting worse all the time. The most brutal methods were being used to suppress black South African opposition under an extremely unpleasant dictatorial president called P.W. Botha. And many people didn't believe that he would do what he then proceeded to go on and do. F.W. de Klerk removed every single apartheid law. He also set the country irreversibly on course for one person, one vote. He told me that unless he achieved one person, one vote for his country, he felt that he would never be able to look all his countrymen in the eye again. And the same with his international counterparts.
Not everyone gives de Klerk all that credit. Civil rights activists argue that until the 1980s, he was a willing supporter of the apartheid regime. But it was his decision to end the nation's shame that set the stage for Nelson Mandela to succeed him. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, negotiators at COP26 are under growing pressure to agree a global climate deal on the final day of talks. Germany's recorded another daily spike in new COVID infections. Western members of the UN Security Council say Belarus is using migrants to destabilise the EU's border. and India's capital continues to be wrapped in a thick blanket of toxic smog. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
You know how sometimes in life you have those moments of shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know what I'm talking about. It happens all the time to people. So let's talk about that very sensitive subject of male pattern baldness. Don't go through that moment where you're going, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's talk about my friends at Keeps. 2 out of 3 men experience some form of hair loss by the time they are 35. With more than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. You don't have to be one of them. Think about this. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss, and my friends at Keeps offer both. Keeps offers simple, stress-free way for you to keep your hair, convenient virtual doctor's consultations, and medication delivered straight to your door. I mean, I have to tell you, just for the whole sake of not having to leave your house to have the consultation, that should sell itself, but the low-cost treatments start just as low as $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions. Discreet packaging and proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. I want you to think about that. People love the product. Prevention is key. Treatment can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. All you have to do to take action to prevent hair loss is to go to keeps.com. That's KEEPS.com/safety to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com, KEEPS.com/safety to get your first month free. That's KEEPS.com/safety. Remember, not everybody has such a beautiful head as mine. So don't be saying coulda, shoulda, woulda. Act on Keeps right now.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Oh, there you go. Another lovely round of stuff going on inside of the world. It is 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out doing the things that we get to do together on this lovely Friday. So let's start talking about it right away, immediately, because we shouldn't waste any time whatsoever. What do you got going on? Anything planned for this weekend? Anything fun? Or, are you going to be watching video on demand? I'm just asking the question because these are the things that we need to know about. Anyways, let's continue talking about the things that are going on inside of the world of the news because that is importante right now.
Duh.
Okay, so let's go through it. On Wednesday night, SpaceX launch carried 4 astronauts into space, including the 600th person to head into orbit in the last 60 years. So with that being said, of course, Matthias Maurer claimed to be the number 600 position based on his mission assignment. The list of 600 travelers ranges from those who are barely reached space, such as those actors as William Shatner, to astronauts who have spent a year or more in orbit. This year's surge in space travel helped achieve the milestone. So there you go. So, when you think about it, and let's just use the fictional character that William Shatner is, and you go, hold on, and I'm talking about the fictional character of Captain Kirk. You didn't make it all the way. What the hell? Some people will talk about that. Anyways, let's continue talking about what's going on inside of the world of the news. The trial for Kyle Richenhaus was much less dramatic yesterday as defense took over the courtroom following the emotional testimony from Richenhaus, the heated exchange between the judge and the prosecution over appropriate questioning. The defense opened and rested their argument on Thursday. They stuck with the narrative that Richenhaus acted purely in self-defense and also kept the motion of the mistrial on the table. Closing arguments are, planned for Monday. So there you go. Anyways, Elon Musk sold roughly $5 billion worth of Tesla shares this week after conducting a Twitter poll asking fans if he should offload some dough here. According to the filing, the U.S. securities regulators must sold half of the 2.1 million shares Monday and another 3.6 million on Tuesday and Wednesday. If he intends to sell 10% of his stake, as well, Twitter poll asked, there will be an additional sell ahead, as so far ahead, he has sold 2.6% of what he owns. But wait, Musk just is being a showbutt. Public finally dug up into Bloomberg's news, and this has been in the works for some time, according to the report. The filing released on Wednesday shows that the transaction were prearranged in mid-September, weeks before the poll. He also didn't mention in the tweets that he has millions of stocks and options that must be exercised before next August when they expire. So, come on. It's nothing different than anybody playing the game on how things normally get done. Let's just be realistic about it. I have a plan, I'm going to do a thing, but let's make the thing bigger than what it actually is, because guess what will happen? I will get some attention out of it, and in las redes sociales, or in social media, it's not that difficult thing to do. Let's just be realistic. That's how you play the game here.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Anyways, I think we're getting close to that time in the show where we bring in Johnny Smalls, let him talk about what is going on inside of the market. So let's take a listen.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, November 12th, 2021. Equities rebounded Thursday, but the move was small and traders are cautioned not to read too much into the move. Price action remains bearish in the wake of the October CPI report and suggests a deeper decline is in store for the market. The broad market S&P 500 is already down a full % from the recently set all-time high and could easily fall another 2% before hitting the first significant target for support. The target is at the short-term moving average, near 45.65, but there's no guarantee the market will halt its decline there. With inflation accelerating to new highs and no end in sight for the trend, the market could correct a full 10% to 20%. Today's action will be telling. If the market moves lower and ends the week at the low of the period, next week's action could bring even more selling. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls. Richenhaus for that one, letting us know what exactly is going on inside of the world of the market, because that is important to know. Let's not play. People want to know these things. People take a look all day long on what is going on inside of that. So here's what we found. Stocks traded in mixed on Thursday as the Dow fell 158 points, the Nasdaq rose 81 points, and the S&P gained 2 points. Disney held the Dow Jones Industrial Average back for the session after the company reported slowing Disney Plus subscriber growth. But I mean, let's just be realistic here. Disney came out swinging when they released their actual system, when they released what the hell they had going on. I mean, let's not joke about this. This was something that when Disney came out, it was full bore. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but if you want to become a new subscriber, they have an offer going on right now that for $1.99, and let's make sure that you understand that this is not a paid sponsorship here, but for $1.99, you can subscribe to Disney Plus for a month. But hey, it's still $1.99. Don't think you can get much better than that. In regards of that, I mean, of course, some people will be like, well, what if you got a free trial? I don't think Disney does free trials. No free ride here at Disney. I mean, I think you already know that.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, let's continue talking. It is now illegal in Portugal for bosses to call employees once they have logged off or left work. I think that's a glorious idea. A glorious idea. I think that is great. The country recently introduced a new law which bans employers from all forms of communication in regards to employees who are off the clock. The new law follows French rules that gave workers the right to ignore after-hour business emails in 2017. So let's hold the phone real quick. No, seriously, let's really hold the phone real quick. So if this is going to be a great gig, if this is going to be something that you're available to do, if this is going to be something that you can do now going forward, would it be something that you think your organization would be open to doing? Also, how would you feel about that? Not being in communication with every single thing that's going on all the time. I mean, I think it would be extremely interesting, to say the least. Anyway, let's continue talking. 24 minutes into the hour, a Colorado resident was shocked to find out that North America's rarest mammal hiding in their garage. Colorado Parks and Wildlife officials were called to the home. Yes, to the home to remove a black-footed ferret that is believed to have wandered from the nearby colony. State officials and biologists have been releasing ferrets onto the ranch where the home is located, but said that the animals were wandering off alone is extremely rare. The ferrets appeared healthy and was relocated back to the ranch. So there you go. I don't know, some fun stuff there. I mean, I let's just be honest. It's kind of an interesting one when you start thinking about, hey, you opened your garage and you got the weirdest thing on the planet that all of a sudden just showed up your general direction.
Safety FM, changing safety cultures, one broadcast and one podcast at a time.
Okay, let's continue talking. The mystery surrounding Subway tuna continues. An amended lawsuit accuses the eatery of lying about the tuna subs, claiming that the alleged mystery meat is actually made of chicken, pork, and cattle DNA based on new lab tests of 20 tuna samples. Yes, I did say 20 tuna samples from 20 Subways in Southern California. 19 contained no detectable version or sequences of DNA that said that it was tuna. In the suit, the third suit filed against Subway this year, a spokesperson for the shop says that they claim that that they're being reckless and improper. I don't think that that's something that they actually said. I think that it said something else. So let's take a look at this real quick. This one's coming in from Jennifer Rodriguez. No after-hours calls or emails. Could Americans do that being so connected on their phones, texts, and emails? Let's be honest here. I think that the answer to the question is no. No way, Jose, would be we be able to do that here in the U.S. in regards of saying, I'm not going to be able to not be connected, on how it is here currently in the U.S. Could you imagine that? That becomes a law. And all of a sudden we tell people, after hours, I can't connect with you. I can't ask you. Because let's be realistic. I mean, as we speak today, sometimes the time goes away from us and go, we need to contact whoever, insert name here, to find out what was going on at work. But that's not always how, things are done out in the East. But that's the way the cookie crumbles from time to time. At least that's the way it seems.
What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, in Alabama, baby is the most premature infant to survive according to the Guinness World Records. I don't know if this is a world record that you really want to be bragging about. Curtis Mean and his twin Ciara were born 21 weeks and 1 day at the hospital in Birmingham, about 19 weeks early. Ciara passed away on 1 day later, but her brother, weighing in at 14.8 ounces, survived, setting the new world record. Curtis spent 275 days in the hospital. He celebrated his first birthday this past July. The previous record holder was Richard Hutchinson from Wisconsin, who was born 21 weeks, 2 days before him. And then the record remained unbroken for 34 years. So here's my question, because, it has to come up. I have to ask this. At what particular point do you turn around and say, I got an idea and I am going to contact the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most premature child on the planet? I mean, it's an awkward one. And how do you come to the decision? Is it all of a sudden somebody turned around and told you, hey, this is a good idea? Or do you just go, okay, this is something that I think we should pursue? I mean, it's kind of an odd one, especially when you think about it, that this was a twin and the other one died. I'm just throwing that out there. I know I'm not trying to be a total this morning. I'm just saying that in general.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, Wednesday's story about a woman who got pregnant after having intercourse with a corpse turned out to be completely fictional, because I kept on wondering how the hell that conversation was going to come about. The piece was originally published by the World News Daily Report, is a statistical publication before being shared by other outlets. It also made the rounds on social media, where it was met with a mix in shock and disbelief. Remember, just because it's on the internet does not mean that it's true. But keep in mind, we talked about this, and I told you at the moment, and believe me, they had me fully gassed on that one. It didn't make sense to me on how the hell did the lady get pregnant from a corpse, because I was like, there's some things that have to be able to work out for her to be able to get pregnant by via necrophilia action in that particular regards. I mean, I know it was a weird one, but it was definitely something that did, we'll use the term pop up lightly when it comes to that, as we are talking. Anyways, currently, let's see, what is it? It's 30 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's continue moving forward here. The actual phone lines are open at callinradio.com. That's our messaging service. That is our video call-in service. That is our normal call-in service, all combined into one. We have tried to simplify this so much more now, where all you have to do is just go directly to a web browser, and you can get connected from anywhere on the planet. And when I tell you anywhere on the planet, that's not a joke. Just imagine a versionality of WhatsApp on, we'll put it on speed for this particular case. Anyway, let's just continue talking about some other things, because these are the things that make us kind of go, as we do talk and move and groove and all that kind of fun stuff. So yesterday, I am kind of hanging around, taking a look around on what's going on. And depending on where you're located, it might be snowing right now during this time of the year. But yesterday, where I was located, it was pouring. And I have never seen a weather report in my life before that it was 100% chance of rain. So 100% chance of rain. Today where I'm at, it's 80% chance of rain. But I had never seen that before. And the question became right away on what occurs with stop work when it comes to that. Now, I will tell you, not far from this temporary studio that we're at this particular moment, I went down the road and there's some construction workers that are there. Fine. I think it's great. I think that it's great that construction is taking place. But with this 100% chance of rain, they continue to work. There was rain, there was thunder, there was lightning, and at no particular point did they ever stop. At no particular point did I see anybody say, it might be time to pull it. It might be time to walk away because everything is going on. Now, it's not that I'm saying that it's right, and it's not that I'm saying that it's wrong, but the approach that people have when it comes to work is different depending on where you're located, is kind of the way that it works. Also, I wondered as I was going through it, because it's just kind of one of these conversations that I'm never going to be able to have some of the answers to. Would someone dare at the time to actually ask for a stop work? Or would someone say, well, you can't just stop work because it's raining? I don't know. These are the things that we have to look at these and go, how does your organization react and interact with the things that you're able to do? Because some of it seems to be limiting depending on the belief system of what the organization is. I mean, we can go as far back as we were talking a little bit earlier and talking about some changes of things that are going on in different countries. But here in the U.S., when we start talking, is how do we take a look at that? Because the implication in understanding and the way that we take a look at some of the things that we see based on regs vary significantly based on how you comprehend them. They change significantly based on your understanding or interpretation of them. So right now, if you were to ask yourself, I work at an organization that allows me to do a stop work. What does the stop work have to consist of? And at some point, do we start looking at the stop work and change it maybe to a start work? And I know that this conversation, people are having it. I know that this conversation is not something that's new, but it's something to think about. What if you gave people the authorization to start work and not stop it? Or maybe both. How different does that world look now? I almost feel like I'm doing a main story, but it is Freeform Friday, so I don't know. Do we even call it that? I mean, I guess I can glance over.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
But I don't know if that's a fair assessment. I mean, I could do this.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
All that ends up doing is putting me into a smaller square, which some people would like actually having me in a smaller box, that's for sure. But there you go. I mean, I don't know. At what particular point do you give that some kind of consideration? At what point do you turn around and say, okay, that's the groove and the move and all that kind of fun stuff? It's just something to think about. That's for sure. But I have a lot of things that I think about when it comes to things like this. What is the start work? What is the stop work? At what particular point is it okay? And yes, some people might sit there and go, well, rain's not that important. I mean, you're just slightly getting wet, blah, blah. Okay, but workers are workers. And yes, I know depending on how the pay method works, it kind of depends on what the hell you have going on. But also at the same time, too, you're going to have to take a look at it and go, okay, thunder, lightning. Yes, lightning has an impact, but I know the thunder does not. It's a sound. But let's think about it. How does that actually work? A lot of stuff to think about this morning. Anyways, we are here on this lovely Friday, 36 minutes past the top of the hour. We're going to come back right after this.
What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants. We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, if an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
Okay, there you go. This one's called Attitudes and Altitudes. Brought to you by Baba Tula, right here on the Rated R Safety Show. You know, I have to tell you, I took a listen to this song last night. It was all about altitudes and attitudes, or attitudes and altitudes, depending on what was going on. You know, sometimes some of these songs can bring you the highest of highs, lowest of lows, make you feel things that you've never felt before. That's for sure. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world here, because it's always some good times. Anyways, 42 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out here on Rated R Safety Show, and, you know, Safety FM and Radio Big, and, you know, wherever else you want to kind of get the information that we are sharing here. There you go. Anyways, let's continue talking about some things that are going on inside of the world here, because those are always important. Anyways, taking it from the very top of what is going on, let's talk about some today's movies openings. Belfast opens. It's a PG-13 movie. Clifford and the Big Red Dog, PG comedy, comes out today. And Apex. So there you go. If you're looking for some movie theater madness, you got some opportunities of doing so. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some things that are going on for this Friday. FaceTime narcissists. Let's talk about it for Friday. People who sleep naked are twice as likely to have a good night rest, according to a new survey. The study, commissioned by the Untitled National Sleep Comfort Month in November, asked 2,000 Americans about their struggles with falling asleep. Interestingly, those who sleep naked were more likely to report high-quality sleep, 53% versus 27% who sleep with pajamas. Those who prefer a warm room reported better sleep than those who like sleeping in a cold room, 46% to 23%. The result also shows an average person has problems falling asleep about 3 nights per week. And by consensus, if you haven't fallen asleep by 2:38 a.m., there's no point to even trying to get another good night of sleep. But let's face it, if you're awake naked in bed at 2:48 a.m., it's probably a good night's sleep if that you're hoping for. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those interesting things for sure to talk about. I mean, I don't know. How do you have this conversation? Like, at what point do you go, okay, I think it's a good idea for us to turn around and do a case study on how you're better off sleeping naked. And then if by 2:38 in the morning you're not asleep, or 2:37 in the morning, 2:38 in the morning, you're not asleep or naked, maybe you're just not good enough to fall asleep. Maybe that's just something to think about. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. A new survey of the average person had the most hookups in their life at the age of 27. The study of 2,000 people for HUD app looked at their preferences when it comes to casual relationships, and also found that more than half who would hook up with someone who looks like their favorite celebrity. Half of that would be willing to hook up with a friend, and 46% said that they would also hook up with their ex. A third said that they'd rather have some mix of someone from a website or an app match type of program. And a physical attributes of most attractive in the potential hookup is 62% said a smile is the most important, following by the body type at 60% and sexy eyes by 59%. So hold on. I don't know if I know how to do math here. So let's think about this. If you told me 62%, and you told me 60% and 59%, I'm not sure on how that math works out. Maybe I just don't understand surveys. Something to think about there. So, who would hook up with someone just because they look like a celebrity? Full disclosure, my favorite celebrity is Dog the Bounty Hunter. Dog the Bounty Hunter.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about some news of the weird real quick, because this is always important. A judge in Georgia has issued a tongue-in-cheek order banishing the elf on the shelf from his county. Cobb County Superior Court Judge Robert Leonard tweeted a text in order of banishing the elf on a shelf and the toy that reports the actions of children in Santa Claus is running up to Christmas because it possesses the risk of an emotional and health well-being of Cobb Young's children. He wrote that the elves sometimes move and don't move overnight. When elves do not move, it leaves the children in an extreme emotional stresses and distresses, depending on how you want to take a look at it. The judge tweeted that in the order is that the gift to tired parents, but also that the families who love their elves feel free to keep them. That's how I feel too, so they can keep them all together. Also, I think it's a genius ploy for people who are not familiar at the moment that the elf in the shelf is becoming one of the most difficult things to actually find at the moment because of some of the shipping issues that are going on around there. So just something to think about. For sure.
Duh.
Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world. A cattle farmer in Brazil says that steers that escaped the slaughter and ended up on the water slide at the neighboring club will also be kept as pet. Carlos Miguel Serrante said that the 2-year-old steer escaped from the cattle farm and made it up to the neighboring India. I can't even say it because it looks like Indian, but it's not Indian. But it was a Club del Campo where the animal ended up climbing on the top of the water slide and then took a slide into the pool. It slid into the pool halfway down before becoming stopped. Video shows the man and the steer leading into the rest of the way down, slid into the water. The unique bovine adventure has made more than local celebrity, leading to the farmer to decide to keep it as a pet with a new name. He has also dubbed it the Taboga, a Portuguese word for slide. So normally cows aren't allowed in water parks, but this time, I guess they are allowed in slides. So there you go. Just some stuff to think about. 48 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Friday doing the things that we are doing here. Let's talk about Did You Know? Because those things are important. Good news to chocoholics. I got some good stuff for you. The next time you come down with a cough, just pop a piece of your favorite treat and you'll get a cough suppressant effect of codeine syrup without the fuzzy headed side effects. How chocolate soothes coughs by forming a sticky coating that protects the nerve endings in your throat that cause your cough. So this will actually become the melted chocolate coating that also allows coughing suppressing ingredients naturally present in cocoa to come into contact with your ravaged throat nerves and remain them calm and keep them soothing as they go down. But I just wanted to say fuzzy-headed side effects because that's really the whole portion of what I wanted to say during that part of the story because, I think that that's important.
Duh.
So I want to play this for you real quick, and I want to go down memory lane. Now, if you were a longtime listener of this show, you might remember this. You might remember when we used to do this every day, and then it became something else. But do you remember when we used to do this?
Now, it's your turn too, bitch. I mean, rant on the Rated R Safety Show.
This show used to be a rant show, a show that was strictly about people calling in and complaining about what they did not like about their job. We gave them the average of 2 minutes to sit there and talk about it. And boy, has this thing changed. But that was the music back then. Boy, what a different world we live in now when it comes to this particular show. Anyways, just wanted to go down memory lane for just one hot minute there.
Duh.
So anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world. No winner for Tuesday night Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $53 million jackpot or a $38.5 million cash payout. No winner for Wednesday night's Powerball drawing either. Saturday's drawing will be for $173 million jackpot or $125 million cash payout. So if you're wanting to play the game, feel free to do so. Anyways, let's continue talking about other things that are going on inside of this particular world. Before we get too far away from it, let me tell you, I can never remember anything. I swear. Here we go. So let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Realize that, number one, you're not alone. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to their website, afsp.org. That's afsp.org. Or you can call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over exclusively to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out and do the things that we do over there. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Today is Friday, so we start airing the Alternative Hits Countdown. So if you want to take a listen to what has actually been on the charts and hit the top of the Alternative Hits Countdown, come over, because we're going to have it this morning. That's for sure. Anyway, so there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things, moving and grooving. Matter of fact, let's not talk. Let's get you into some Motivation Minute and some Wellness Reset back to back. Take a listen right now on what they both have to offer to you.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Rebecca. There's a Chinese proverb that says, the person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. I love this. I should get this put on a t-shirt or something. I've had this very thing happen to me. While I'm working on something new and different, I've had people tell me, that's not going to work. Then when I ask them, why not? They say, well, that's not how we've done it in the past. I remind them that the past was not working, so now we're focused on the future. I think this plan will work. The coolest part of the story, by the way, is many of those times, I was right. Don't be afraid to do the things that others say cannot be done. Who knows? You might just succeed. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. We have heard a lot about the benefits of walking, but here are some of the less known benefits. Walking improves your eyesight. It stimulates the visual cortex, that part of the brain that processes the images. It can help fight glaucoma by releasing the eye pressure. Second, increased lung volume. Walking increases oxygen flow into the bloodstream and eliminates toxins and waste. And lastly, according to Duke University study, walking for exercise is a surprisingly more effective way to prevent diabetes than running. Regular walking improves glucose tolerance or blood sugar absorption. Today, find some time to go out there and enjoy the numerous benefits from this simple type of exercise. This message was brought to you by Wellness Reset, where we always encourage you to find real ways to reset your wellness. For more information, please visit AlessaMorgan.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go. There you go. We got you some wellness. We got you some reset. We got you some motivation all in one giant slew. 55 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging and doing the things that we are doing on this lovely morning. Let's talk real quick. These are albums being released today. Courtney Barnett releases a new one. Matter of fact, the track list is too long to talk about it, so I'll try to give some highlights. Taylor Swift with Red, the Taylor version. Little mix between Us and John Hopkins, music by Psychedelic Therapy. So there you go if you're interested in taking a listen to those. What else do we got real quick? The most stressed out cities. Let's go from number 10 to number 1. Here we go. At 43.9%, Detroit. At number 9, Los Angeles at 46.1%. At number 8, Phoenix, 46.3, and Chicago, 46.3. So they're kind of tied there for 8th and 7th, depending on how you want to take a look at it. Washington, D.C., 46.5%. At number 5, San Francisco at 47.7%. At number 4, Philadelphia at 48%. Boston, 48.8%. Houston, 50.5%. And the top 10 most stressed out city, according to this list, at number 1 at 54.5% was Seattle. The survey was conducted by the newspaper that includes the data of each 50 states and Washington, D.C., as well as the 15 largest metropolitan areas. The percentages represents the residents who felt nervous, anxious, and on the edge for several days over the last 2 weeks. So there you go. Anyways, if you're looking for some things that happened back on this date, Disney launches back on this date its streaming service, Disney Plus. That was back in 2019. More than 10 million subscribers signed up within the first 24 hours. And then people are saying they're slowing down. I mean, yeah, they're slowing down. How much longer can you go there? Some quick birthdays real quick coming your way. Anne Hathaway turns 39. Ryan Gosling turns 41. Tanya Harding 51. Sammy Sosa 53. So there you go. If you're looking for some days of the year to celebrate, let's give you some of those before we get you out of here. National French Dip Day. National Pizza with the works except anchovies day. National Chicken Soup for the Soul Day. And World Pneumonia Day. So there you go. Just some things over there that you can take a listen to and go and move and groove and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyways, here we go, 58 minutes past the top of the hour. So if you need a random joke for today, try this one. Not saying I live in a rough area, but I brought an advent calendar and half of the windows are boarded up. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What was the most useless piece of advice that someone ever gave you? And if you need something for the water cooler today, here you go. Question: perhaps surprisingly, 34% of people say this helps them get out of a funk. What is it? Well, cleaning their house, because your house is probably funky, and that's probably why you're getting out of the funk.
Duh.
Anyway, something to think about for sure. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on Radio Big and safetyfm.com, just so you know. Thanks for coming out, hanging out with us. If you want to come over to radiobig.fm, you're more than welcome to, because that's what I'll be doing for the next couple hours or so. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, we can't do what we do here. For sure. If I can leave you with a thought for this weekend, this is what I would love to leave you with. 3 grand essentials to happiness in life is something to do, something to love, and something to hope for. Without those things, there won't be much success on what you want to do to have essential happiness in your life. Anyways, thank you. If I don't see you in the next couple hours, I'll see you Monday. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.